This is Miss Lizzie, and I want to welcome you to the Queen Lizzie podcast. Together, we will go through the history of Rosewood, Florida, and watch as the once prosperous town rises out of the bloodshed, fire, and ash to reveal the people, the memory, and the legacy of Rosewood. Watch every Thursday on Facebook and YouTube, or listen to our story on Apple or Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. Hello, everybody. I am Lizzie Robinson Jenkins, representing not only the Rosewood Foundation, but the personal testimonies and history of cherished friends and family. You are now watching the Queen Lizzie podcast. Today, we are talking with Ann Green. Welcome, Ann Green, to the Lizzie Robinson Jenkins podcast. Welcome.
Thank you, Lizzie. It's an honor to be here. I've never been on a podcast, so I'm thrilled to be here with you today because I have such an appreciation of what you're doing with the Rosewood Foundation and what you have done in Archer, because building community, and that's what I'm representing today, the Archer Historical Society and Archer, because we are in the process of restoring the old depot in Archer, and yes. Is that something we want to talk about? Or
yes.
Okay.
This is history. Let's talk about everything that's going on in Archer, especially because Archer is home for you, and Archer is home for me. In fact, we are neighbors.
That's
we
right.
Grew up.
I can remember my daddy talking about your father.
Yes.
And I didn't see him. I didn't know him till I was grown.
Yes.
But a cow would get out, and it belonged to Mr. Robinson.
Yes. And he would make sure that cow got back in on Mr. Robinson's property. You know, the fence was not that good back then. They can open up and close, okay, but they protected each other's property.
That's right. They were neighbors.
They were neighborly neighbors.
So important.
It was.
The old depot was given to the Archer Historical Society in 1977, and the reason we're trying so desperately to preserve it is because it's the last depot on the Florida Railroad line. Yes. The first railroad across Florida came through Archer in 1859, and David Yulee was considered father of the Florida Railroad. And in Archer, it was called Deer Hammock Station then, but in 1855, some men invited him to Archer to talk about the railroad possibly coming through Archer, and it did. So going from Amelia Island to Cedar Key, Archer Depot is the last one going west, because after you pass Bronson, you're getting into the marshland, and it was difficult to keep cross ties down, and the train ran until 1932, and the depots are gone down that way. So the purpose of the Archer Historical Society is to passionately preserve the past in order to enlighten the future.
Yes.
Because we want to save these things that are important to our history and building of our state. And when Mr. Yulee brought the railroad through, it definitely revolutionized commerce.
Yes.
And communication and transportation. It was something we hadn't known in the wilderness of Florida. And exactly. So I'm happy to be here today to talk about that.
Exactly. And we have something coming up this month at that same depot. Would you like to tell us about it?
Oh, yes.
On the 30th?
Yes. I did not bring a flyer, but it's the Mahalda, Liz is
Gussie.
great.
Yes.
Say the full name.
Mahalda Gussie Brown Carrier.
And she was a teacher at Rosewood, and you have to read the Rosewood story to know what we're talking about. But when the Rosewood, what do you call the Rosewood?
I call it the massacre.
Massacre, that's the word, the word. And when that took place, Mahaldo was a survivor. And we're happy to talk about that she was a survivor. She was a survivor in many ways, but she came to Archer and got off the train right at the depot, where we're going to celebrate her 131st birthday on May 25th, which is a Sunday afternoon.
Yes.
I think we're all invited.
Everybody is invited from 5 to 8. I have invited, there are 6 Rosewood Foundations. I have invited all 6 of the foundations. We live all over the United States.
Oh.
And everybody will not be able to travel here and participate, but those that live locally, we have invited them. They are welcome. You are welcome. We want you to come and meet us. Okay, so we have it together. We know who we are, but we don't know everybody. But a small circle of us know who we are. I'm going to be in where this weekend. I'm going to travel to somewhere down south, Brooksville, and I'm meeting some of the Rosewood descendants there. Okay, in a couple of weeks I'm going to Tallahassee, and we meet, we talk, we plan, we organize. However, the Rosewood Museum is going to be built here in Archer, but it's not my museum. It's not about me. It's the museum for the people. And we are excited to work together and share our history. Okay, so I have a call in to Mr. Mark Sexton, who is the chairperson, director of the Alachua County Commissioners. And I'm waiting for him to call back. I have a plan. I have an idea. I have an offer for him. Okay? And hopefully, not hopefully, I know he will return my call. And we're going to share what my plans are. And when I find out, I'll share it. You will be the first one that I share it with. And what's your position on the historical
I'm presently
system?
secretary.
Okay. Ann is our secretary, and she has done an excellent job, and we have been working together on this society, in the society for years. Okay, we know each other, and we have a lot going on in Archer. You have to be there. Will they be allowed to visit the museum?
Oh, definitely.
Oh, right, wonderful. And we have some very unique crafts and books and records that I have never seen any place in the United States. And I don't think it's any place in this United States that represent what Archer represents. People would not know it.
That's right, Lizzie. We're fortunate to have some of these displays, and that's another reason we're trying to preserve our building so we can
Yes.
preserve these documents. We
Yes.
do not have climate controlled anything. It's open to the elements. We have a cover, but it's a
Yes.
warehouse museum.
Yes.
And our dream is to enclose it at some point in time, but we've never had grants, and we just deal with our dues and volunteer labor, and just this year we were able to replace flooring in it.
Yes.
And that's because a local tree farmer, Tom Beatty, gave us trees, and we had a $2,500 grant from Duke Energy, a gift from Duke Energy, and we brought in a portable sawmill and cut the trees and milled the boards, and some of our volunteers put them down. Now these boards are 2 inches thick
Yes.
and 8 inches wide, and they were 12 and 10 because it's 22 feet span across that floor. And this is the floor that they put in on 3/4 of the building.
Yes.
And we still have a way to go, but
Exactly.
we have to accumulate some other funds to do that.
So we're going to have to write grants. The money is out there, and we're just going to have to reach out, write grants. And who is Tom Beatty? You just said Tom Beatty donated.
The peanut brittle guy.
In other words, Tom Beatty is her brother. And he is very helpful, very, very supportive. And I know we have grant writers. We are going to get grant money so that we can finish this building. And what about remember the Josiah T. Walls event?
Oh,
we had
yes, on
there?
December 30th. That was our first big event after we finished the flooring in December.
Yes.
December 30th, we had the Josiah T. Walls birthday celebration, and that's because, now you help me here, Josiah T. Walls was the first black congressman from Florida.
Yes.
And he fought for the Confederacy and was captured by the Union, and he went over to the Union side, and that was in Virginia. And at the end of the war, he came to Alachua County and bought 1,100 acres on the prairie and had orange groves. And when the orange groves froze out, then he came to Archer and taught school. That's our claim to fame, but he did lots of things.
Exactly.
Tell us now what he did in Gainesville, because he had a printing company. And he was
Yes, he had a printing copy here. He had a newspaper. He had several things. He was a trailblazer. He was a mover and a shaker, and people followed him. And I want you all to know that he was black. Oh, we just said the first black man. But he worked extremely hard. And when he came to Archer, he didn't he didn't buy property in Archer, don't think. But his property was connected back then to the Archer County line in some way. I don't remember the details, but he was classified semi as an Archer resident because he taught school at Blue Peter School in Archer, which was the first black school in Archer. It was named after a slave that came from Mississippi whose name was Peter, and they named the pond Blue Peter. And the blue came from the blue coots that used to hang out. Blue coots.
Oh,
you know
my
what blue
goodness,
coots
I
are?
do.
You do. But for those of you who do not know what a blue coot is, what is it?
It's like a duck.
Yes. You all hear these country farm girls? We know our farmers' history, don't we?
I should say. But then at the
Yes.
end of his life, I think he was at Florida A&M.
Yes, he was.
So he was definitely a trailblazer.
He was.
And we were happy to have that celebration.
Exactly. And the building, we said, okay, are we going to do this next year? Because church people, my church family came, and a lot of people came, and we asked them at the last minute, do you think we should do this next year? And they said yes. And I said, well, we need a different place, okay, to host it. You remember what they said?
I think they said they wanted to come back there.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did, because of I don't remember the word they used, but the antiqueness of it.
Oh,
And,
yes.
yeah.
It was always a gathering place.
Yes.
In
yes.
1859, I mean, right down through the years, we've seen pictures that the black and the whites, they all gathered there because they came to see the train come through.
Exactly.
Oh, let me tell one story about the
Okay.
black lady that from the Magnolia Hotel just up the street. They said she could fry the best chicken around. And so her husband would put that chicken in a box. I probably had something to absorb, and with a thing just like the vendors do at Florida Field on Gator football day, and
Yes.
had that box of chicken. And when the train came through, the people on the train would buy the chicken, and that's not all. What the people on the train did not buy, there would be locals there to buy the rest of her
Exactly.
chicken because she was known for that. We've been known for lots of good cooks in our church.
Exactly. And they would sell eggs, okay, at the train station when the train would come through. Eggs, and what else? Potato pies. Okay.
Yes.
And my Rosewood aunt was an excellent potato pie cooker. And by the way, we have her recipe, and we are going to make some potato pies, my niece. And we're going to sell potato pies on the 25th of May, this month.
Good.
Yes,
I'm happy
yes.
to know that.
Yes, and we are going to
cool.
invite vendors, not very many because we don't know how many. As we speak, I am gauging the people to find out how many people are going to be there so that we will know how many vendors to invite. And our event is not going to be about bounce houses. We are going to have our kids hopefully write stories, okay, about history. If they want to write about Rosewood, all well and good. We want them to listen and get educated. And I know a group from down south, one of the foundations, they have a choir of children, and we are asking them to be on program, and many of them write poetry, and we want them to read their poetry. And if other people are interested, we'll get the message out to write poems or whatever, or talk about Rosewood. They are welcome. And you are going to be one of the people to talk about Josiah T. Walls. Okay.
Well, I'll be honored to do that.
Oh, okay. All right. So it's our event, and we're going to make sure people remember us and remember all of the work that we have done. But before we go off right now, I would like to do a shout out to our sponsors, Steve Spurrier. Remember, on the weekend, there is a brunch from 11 to 3 p.m. on the weekend. please stop by, patronize the best food in town. Freddie Weeby is the person who promotes this podcast and makes sure it gets out on time. And Meldon Law is one of the supporters too. He is very, very, very supportive, and he helps us get through the program. He's one of my sponsors, and Campus USA Credit Union is another sponsor. Okay, so that's about time for our first half. We are going to head to a quick break, and we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
There we go.
You did.
I am Black History.
I am Rosewood Black History.
I am Florida and America's Black History.
And you are too.
January 1st, 1923, the KKK insurrectionists attacked Rosewood, killing 5, burning it down.
Because a white woman lied and cried, a black man assaulted me. Rosewood redevelopment is on its way.
Want to help? Visit rosewoodflorida.com.
Meldon Law has been serving personal injury victims since 1971. In those days, Jeffrey Meldon's presence as an attorney in the music scene dubbed him with the nickname the Hippie Attorney. And although times have changed, 2 things haven't: our commitment to bettering our community by helping the injured,
Albert, are you ready to go to the game?
and our love for the Florida Gators.
If you bleed orange and blue, Meldon Law is the firm for you.
Welcome back to Queen Lizzie Podcast, brought to you weekly from the Steve Spurrier Podcast Room at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. We are here with Ann Green. The Queen Lizzie Podcast is brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union, live from the Meldon Law Gator Studios at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. We are here and we are talking about Rosewood, my Rosewood aunt, and the Matilda Gussie Brown Day, which is March 25th and May 25th. That's why I pay you to keep me straight. Correct me. May 25th, which is a couple of weeks away, and we want you to be there. Bring your friends, bring your children. If anybody out there wants to participate, sing a solo or write a paper about Rosewood or history, make sure you let me know. My phone number is 352-214-6003. It is not about me. It's about Rosewood. It's about Archer, especially Archer, because Archer is very important in my life. I've been there all of my life. I love Archer, and we have a lot going on. And because we are working together, and I'm a member of the Archer Historical Society, we are going to make sure we keep things moving out there. And as you know, Rosewood is near Cedar Key, and when the Rosewood Massacre happened in 1923, people were killed. People had to leave their home. The sheriff was extremely loyal, a good person. He worked, my mother said, 96 hours straight in an effort to get the black people out of Rosewood alive, because Cedar Key is a peninsula, one way in and one way out. So he went from Rosewood to Sumner to Cedar Key, begging people to please help him, okay, get the people out alive. And the white men that lived in Cedar Key said to him, "No, Bob, we can't. We cannot jeopardize the lives of our family." I understand. He understood, but he did not stop begging or pleading for help. And eventually they told him in Cedar Key, said, "Well, Bob, if you leave the train, if the train leaves early in the morning when everybody else is asleep," he said, "we may be able to help you." And believe it or not, these unsung heroes helped him man that train, helped him gather people to get on that train to go to Rosewood and help my aunt and all of the others survive. They helped with the elderly, put them on the train, women and men and children. All of this originated in Cedar Key. And my mom said, "Well, baby, you need to write a song Okay, I'll write it, I'll dictate it. You need to sing it. She said, no, you can't sing, but you need to sing a song to make sure when you tell the story, you can tell it in song too. And people will listen. And songs are popular because she said, she would always tell me, that is the way our ancestors were able to make it out, not of slavery, but make it through the years. And this is just a couple of verses of the song that she dictated to me, and we edited it. And it goes like this. The Cedar Key train conductors were told to pick up in Rosewood. Standing by the tracks with a lantern, its young school teacher stood, waiting in desperation to carry out the sheriff's plan, rounding up the hidden survivors to board the midnight train. And this is a picture of the Rosewood school teacher. You see her lovely picture on my shirt? Okay, and that was her job to round up the hidden survivors. The hidden survivors were the men, women, and children that were hiding out until the train got to Rosewood to pick them up. Okay, the sheriff and the store owner worked around the clock, informed the train conductors just when and where to stop, pick up the men, women, and children who were hiding out, and bring them to Archer, Florida, traveling the same old route. And that's where we are going to stop, in Archer, Florida, on, well, not stop, that's where the train stopped January 4, 1921, and that's where we are going to start, begin, remember that train depot on May 25th, 2025. Okay, at that depot. It is going to be exciting because we are just going to walk in their tracks. We're going to walk where some of those survivors walked. Many of them didn't live in Rosewood, but they got off the train in Rosewood. I mean, many of them didn't live in Rosewood. They had no place to call home because they came to Rosewood from the southern states through Cedar Key, and they made Rosewood their home. So when they left Rosewood, they had no place to go. But they got on that train, and some of them got off in Archer. And that's where we are going to celebrate. So we are going to walk in their footprints, that they are where they exited the train in 1923 on January 4. But the train came further to Gainesville. Now, there were many people that lived in Rosewood. Not many. There were several people that lived in Rosewood. Also, home was in Gainesville. So I'm going to sing this one other verse, and then I'm going to stop. Bob Walker and John Wright took on a daring risk. Put the survivors on the train, Lord, and sent them off with a kiss. Notified the Gainesville families to be on the lookout for their kin. Told them the train was a-coming and told them exactly when. So when it left Archer, they telegraphed up to up to Gainesville to let them know, okay, we're on the way. So be there, be ready, okay, to meet your family members. And so that's how that story goes. And I always sing just a little because I don't want anybody to learn my song and use it. But anyway, that is what happened in Rosewood. And we are going to, when we meet, I have ordered some T-shirts, which is called Walking History, that we are going to be selling. So bring money too. Bring money for books, for T-shirts, and other items that we are going to be selling, and for a donation. We want to make this like a telethon, and I'll inform you later the progress as we continue to work. Okay, I've told you okay, I'm looking over my notes because I want you all to know that I did invite our Governor Ron DeSantis, because Governor Jeb Bush and Governor Lloyd Charles both participated, and I got a very nice letter from the governor's office, from the executive board, executive office of the governor last week, and they said to me that unfortunately we regret to inform you that the governor will be unable to attend the event due to scheduling conflict. We sincerely apologize, but we hope that we can or will keep, we hope that you will keep us informed of any future invitations. I will do that, okay? The most important thing, he responded, his office.
Definitely.
Yes, and that means a lot, okay? And I followed up this morning with another request asking for a proclamation, because I want you all to know, all of the organizations, we want you all to send a proclamation. I have gotten one confirmed from Chad Johnson, Representative Chad Johnson. He is our representative in Archer, District 22. I have gotten a confirmation from Representative Yvonne Henson, who is not in our district, but she works closely with us, and she helped with the Josiah T. Walls proclamation also. So we will be getting proclamations. If you're listening, ministers, we want you to come, bring your church members, okay, and write a proclamation. We are going to keep these proclamations. We're going to archive them in our museum. If you want to, if we have enough time, you are welcome to read them or allow your members, the children especially, to read the proclamation. This is all about learning, okay, networking, and making Rosewood Museum our museum, okay? And I think that was about all I was going to say. And I would like for you to talk about, what did you say you were going to talk about?
Well, I wanted to talk about the fact that our depot, we were talking about hallowed ground when we talk about those survivors getting off the depot,
Yes.
getting off at our depot. And it is a place that blacks and whites get. It was a gathering place.
Yes.
And so we now host a farmer's market, and to me that's a gathering place.
Yes.
And we welcome everybody. And we started that because we had an art show, and one of the applicants, it sounded like they had farmers market things, and she said, well, let's start one. So in May of 2022, we started a farmers market, and we have two goals in mind. One is to support the vendors, because some of them are trying to make a living.
Yes.
And to support the vendors and for a safe place to sell
shop.
their wares. And the second goal is to bring visitors to our museum, and both have been very successful.
Yes.
And we have a fresh food vendor which makes the great burgers and dogs and sausage dogs, and we have makers and bakers and growers. And just the other day I saw a gorgeous rose bush going into someone's cart with beautiful pink blossoms on it and butterfly bushes. And then we have fresh blueberries are in now.
Yes.
And we have, like I mentioned, the peanut brittle guy.
Oh,
when
it's
he's
good.
there, he just makes the very best peanut brittle. So we just have a good time there. It's a gathering place.
It is.
And I'm so happy that you're going to have your event there, because it should continue to be a gathering place in Archer for many years to come.
Exactly. And I am busy, but I try to make it there every Tuesday. And if you all are listening, Tuesday from
3 to 7.
3 to 7. If you are busy, that's okay. Stop by anyway. I'm busy, and I find time to stop by and support. Okay, and like Ann said, some people are trying to make a living. We can help them.
Of course.
They have eggs. They're selling eggs and desserts and plants, jewelry. What else are they selling?
Oh,
jellies.
What I'm wearing, this little girl, she's about 5th grade, and
Yes.
she makes these, and she does very well selling them. And then her sister is an artist, watercolors. And so we have artists and crafters,
Yes.
as well as makers and bakers and growers. So we have a quality group of vendors.
We have. So if you remember, please stop by and patronize them, okay? because we are in this together, and it takes all of us working together to make things happen in Archer for us. And remember, May 25 from 5 to 8 at Archer Historical Museum, Railroad Museum, I call it. And it's a place you need to be there. You need to be there, and we are going to continue to send out information to let you know that we mean business. Show up in Archer. I travel to Gainesville sometimes twice a day, and people, I don't want to. Way out to Archer. Archer is the same distance from Archer to Gainesville as it is from Gainesville to Archer. So sacrifice, come out, patronize us, work with us, and support us. We're looking for you. Okay? Okay. I am continuously humbled, honored, and blessed to meet people daily and invite them to join in peace building, healing, and reconciliation through learning about the history of Rosewood. That will wrap up today's episode. I am Queen Lizzie. Until next time, goodbye.